Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. And as usual, I just want to say a quick happy holidays. It is near Christmas time, and obviously, it's time to feel jolly, happy, and, well, every emotion you can think of. I hope this year you guys get all the opportunities to do the Devil's Tango and pull any girl or any guy you guys want. I don't know which way you guys swing, so, you know, just do what you gotta do. But anyways, guys, today's story is something insane, and I cannot wait to tell you guys. Because if you guys heard it here first, yes, I became Santa at my school. Now, you guys are probably wondering how this happened, and honestly, it was one of the best moments of my life because having like over 50 girls sit on my lap was the most insane thing ever. But today's story starts off back when I was in high school. This was my grade 12 year, the final year of me being in high school, and I remember I decided to join the leadership team. So if you guys don't know, in my school we have a leadership club. Basically, it's like the leaders of the school that, you know, host events and stuff. And to be honest, the only reason I joined was because there was a lot of hot girls in there, and I won't lie, it seems like girls love having power in their hands, especially when it comes to the school. So I remember I also joined in because I wanted to feel some of that power. So obviously what I decided to do was I went up to the leadership club, and you know, I was sitting in there doing my own thing, and then afterwards the teacher, the main teacher of the leadership club, ended up coming up to us all and ended up saying, okay guys, so this year, since it's the holidays, we're going to be making a Santa meet and greet. So who here wants to be Santa Claus? Now obviously at first most of the girls in my leadership club didn't want to do it because obviously what girl would want to be Santa? So I remember I decided that I could be Santa because I was like one of the 3 guys that was willing to do it. Don't get me wrong, we also had another guy in the leadership club, but he was I think he was gay. I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know. In some way, he just didn't feel comfortable with a bunch of girls sitting on his lap. And then the other one, well, he, let's just say, didn't want to be Santa. Anyway, sorry, going on with the story, I remember basically I decided to go up and say I don't mind being Santa. And I ended up telling my teachers that, and all the girls got really excited. I remember all the girls were like, oh my goodness, we're gonna make him have a white beard, and then oh my goodness, we're gonna dress him in all red, and we're gonna make you carry a sack. Great, I already carry a sack. I have to carry another one. Bad joke, but you guys know what I mean. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember basically we ended up going to the gym and we got everything set up. We got the cool chair, we got the cameras, we got the lighting, we got also the really cool Christmas decorations that were all over the place. And then I remember these girls that were in my leadership club ended up filling a sack full of candy canes. Apparently, after every student sat on my lap, they would have to get a candy cane from me. I have no idea why, but it is what it is. Anyways, afterwards, I remember when the gym was fully decorated, that same day, I had to go put on a Santa costume. So I remember I ended up basically going into the change room, putting this thing on, and boy, did I look dumb. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the most charming guy, but to put me on a Santa costume, I don't know, man. It just did not suit well with me, which is funny because it's Santa's suit. I don't know. It's weird, but at the same time, I did it anyways. And then afterwards, after I got the Santa suit on, I remember I went out and I basically showed the girls, you know, how it looked. And all of them liked it, but they said it needed one more thing. I ended up getting a pillow shoved under my shirt, and basically I became a fatter Santa. Because, you know, what Santa isn't fat? Let's be real here. You can't have a slim Santa. What is this, Jack Skellington? So anyways, I remember after that, I ended up going to the gym, and it was lunchtime. Right as I was walking in from the change room going into that place, I remember seeing so many people lining up to go see Santa, aka me. I remember I went in there and I sat down, and the amount of people in that lineup was basically half of the entire school. And I have a big school, by the way. I went to a school with over 5,000 students. Kind of insane. So I remember I ended up going in there. When I did, I sat down and basically I waited. The lineup started coming into the gym, and basically from there, I remember I was basically sitting there for 2 hours, basically getting ready to meet people. But the thing that was really weird about being Santa was that there was more girls lining up to meet me than actual guys, which, I mean, I'm not complaining. That's a good thing in my mind. But at the same time, you gotta understand this. Back when I was in high school, girls would wear booty shorts. And don't get me wrong, I love, you know, a good pair of peaches. You know, it's a W. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining. But when a bunch of girls wear tight leggings and booty shorts, and they're lining up and they're gonna be sitting on my lap, well, you already know what's gonna happen, boys, okay? So basically, I remember I was sitting there, and basically a girl would walk up and she would sit on my lap with her booty shorts, and instantly, I'm not gonna lie, I got bricked. Yeah, no joke, after the 3rd girl came and sat on my lap, I got seriously bricked because this girl had a massive, and I mean massive, cherries. So me being bricked as Santa Claus, I remember basically I would have a bunch of these girls just come down, sit on my lap, and tell me what they wanted for Christmas. It was actually really funny because a girl at one time actually came up to me and sat on my lap, and she said, so this is gonna be a weird one, but I know it's you, Bubba, and I just want to say I would love for you to use a vibrator on me. Whoa, chill out is what I told her afterwards. afterwards, and then she ended up standing up, taking the photo, and dipping. Yeah, it was super awkward because a lot of these girls were being super weird and stuff, but at the same time, it was actually pretty funny. And the worst part was that I was bricked for like a whole 2 hours, and knowing I couldn't beat my stuff, you know, as Santa would be weird. You know what I mean? Like, I can't do that. So I was basically sitting there for 2 hours being bricked and basically trying to figure out what would be my next move. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember more girls started coming in and coming into the lineup and stuff, and it just kept going and going and going. But this is where things got really funny, because at like, I think like the 50th person mark, we ended up like basically taking a break. So I remember I went to the change room and I was sweating. Like, I was actually sweating a lot. And I remember I started like kind of going into the bathroom and I tried to take a waz. Now, boys, if you guys know this, you guys will know this. Girls probably won't understand this, but when you are bricked and trying to take a waz, it is like burning fire. Like, it is like you are shooting a flamethrower. And it hurt so much to the point where I couldn't do it. So I ended up just saying, whatever, putting my pants back on, going back into that Santa costume, and basically sitting down, still bricked, for another, like, I think hour or so. Yeah, crazy to me. And it was so weird too, because our lunch was only like an hour and a half. So knowing I stayed there for like 3 hours more, like, kids were skipping school just to sit on my lap. Now, don't get me wrong, usually boys don't get bricked up for that long, but I'm gonna tell you this, my main thing that I was like realizing was that I would like basically think about my grandma when no one was sitting on my lap just to calm it down. And then a girl would come and sit on me, and then boom, obviously I would come back up. And then there would be those times where a person would come and sit on my lap and it was like some dude or just someone I'm purely not attracted to, and I would basically like start to calm down. And then of course the cheerleading squad had to come in and all take a photo with me, and one at a time they all sat on my lap. Yeah, kind of insane. I remember it got super intense, and then afterwards there was this one more last person. This girl was the hottest girl on the cheer team that sat on my lap. It was the last person apparently, and I was ready to just leave at that point because, you know, I didn't want to be bricked up forever. I remember she sat on my lap. She sat directly in the middle of my lap where my eggplant was clearly chilling. And no joke when I say this, she sat down and she felt it. She felt it, and the thing that sucked was I thought the pillow would kind of help out, knowing it was like near there as well, but the pillow didn't help. The pillow literally like ended up moving to the side a bit, so it's like more on my side of my stomach, and she felt that I was bricked. She instantly stood up right after, and then she looked at me, smiled, and then sat back down saying, "This is a cozy seat, Santa." Bruh, what? I thought this girl had like a Santa kink. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was super weird. And then afterwards, I remember we took the picture and everything, and then I stood up getting ready to leave, and I went to the change room. When I went to the change room, I remember I basically started taking everything off because, you know, I was boiling in that. I was sweating like crazy in there. Like, I was sweating more than a sinner at church. And then right as I take it off, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, a girl ended up literally walking into the change room, and it was the same cheerleader that I talked to earlier. And no joke when I say this was the most weirdest thing ever as well. She ended up coming in there, going on her knees, and yeah, I think you guys know the rest. Let's just say we ended up doing the devil's tango in the change room when I was sweating balls. Yeah, it was super weird and super awkward, but at the same time, I wasn't really complaining because she was like the hotter girl in the cheer team. And yeah, let's just say she ended up helping me out and basically getting rid of my massive eggplant. But I mean, all I can say was that, you know, I guess I got her present for Christmas. Anyways, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. And also join the Discord. Peace out, guys. All right, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another insane story. So today's story that I'm going to tell you guys right now is honestly one of the ones that I did not want to tell. But as you guys know, it is Christmas, and I have to tell this story because there's no way I don't. But before anything, as usual, make sure you guys join the Discord server down below because I will be talking to you guys and also hearing your guys' crazy stories. And who knows, maybe one day you'll be put on an episode. Anyways, let's get straight into this insane story. All right, guys, so this story takes place back when I actually graduated high school. I know I don't tell a lot of stories from after high school because my life was really insane, and let's just say it was mostly just me doing the devil's tango. But basically, I remember one time when I was chilling at home planning my next YouTube video that I wanted to tell to you guys. Literally out of nowhere, my buddy hits me up saying, "Yo, bro, dude, I'm going to this Christmas party. You gotta come, bro. Like, there's gonna be so many girls there." Now, obviously, during Christmas, you either do one of two things. One, you hang out with your family. Two, you get gifts from your family and hang out with them because you have to, because they got you gifts. Yeah, I can't be the only one that, you know, usually just hangs out with their family during Christmas. Christmas because you have to. Like, I don't know. It's a really bad thing to say, but you know, the world just keeps on giving. Anyways, I remember when you explained that there were gonna be a lot of girls over, I really want to go. Because obviously at this time, one thing that really sucks, and I realized this, is that during the holidays, every single person is taken. Like, no joke, finding a single girl on the holidays is one of the hardest things ever. Like, right now, as you're watching this, just scroll down your Instagram feed and see how many people are in relationships. It is brutal, and honestly, it makes a person lonely. Like, no joke, I wish there was like a site where you could just like rent a girlfriend for the holidays, but sadly there isn't. Actually, there is, but it's illegal. Anyway, sorry, going on with the story. I remember when I heard about this party, I really wanted to go. I know I should have hung out with my family, but honestly, I had to go. So I remember, for me being so lonely and a helpless romantic, I remember going up to my parents and saying, hey, mom, dad, I was just wondering, like, there's this Christmas party happening. After we're done, like, family dinner, can I just dip and go hang out with them? I remember my parents were really upset at first, but honestly, I think they kind of understood that I really needed a social life other than just sitting in my room making videos all day. So my dad said yes, but I had to be back at a certain time, which was exactly 1 a.m. Now, obviously, I said yes, and I listened, and I said sure. So I remember on Christmas Eve, I decided to do that. So I remember on Christmas Eve, I did the whole Christmas thing. I got presents. I got a new pair of Air Force Ones. Love that. And then afterwards, I remember I ended up going to this Christmas party after we were done dinner. Like, no joke, I literally wore my Air Force Ones when we were eating Christmas dinner. And then on top of that, I'm not joking when I said this, right as everyone finished dinner, I left. Like, I literally just said, all right, guys, happy holidays, bye. And I dipped out the door. I remember when I left, I ended up getting picked up by my homie, and we ended up driving to this Christmas party. He said there's gonna be a lot of girls and stuff. It's gonna be super dope. And I said, well, where is it? He ended up driving me to a university that was really well known here in Vancouver. I'm not gonna say which ones because of privacy reasons, but it is what it is. Anyways, I remember when I got to the university, I literally like visited like all the houses and stuff because they have like dorms and stuff. So there's a bunch of different houses on one street. There's like the apartment buildings that students get to live in. Honestly, university / college life is actually really cool. I didn't get to experience it. That's one thing that many people ask me. Oh, did you go to college? No, I became a YouTuber. And honestly, it was probably the best decision I ever did because I love you guys so much. Anyway, sorry, back to the story. I remember I was just chilling, and afterwards we ended up driving towards his house, and when we parked in the front parking lot, I remember getting out and seeing a bunch of people inside this house. Like, no joke, all these students were just drinking eggnog and going crazy at this Christmas party. It was one of the coolest things ever, and I remember when I went in there, I started, you know, socializing, being me, and being really outgoing. It's really funny because when I'm at home, I'm a really like solo, like, you know, quiet person that just works, but when I'm at like a party or when I'm at like a club, I go all out. Like, I don't mind talking to people. I like socializing. It's just my thing, I guess. I have no idea. I guess you can call me an intro extrovert. That didn't make sense, but you guys know what I mean. Anyways, going on, I remember basically I was just hanging out with like everyone and talking to them, and then afterwards there was this one girl I recognized, and this girl, funny enough, went to my middle school. Now, there is a middle school story about her, but we're gonna talk about her later on in like a future episode. Don't worry, it's not a part 2, but it is like something in the future episode that you guys will one day recognize, I guess. But basically, I remember when I saw her, she looked at me and kind of like freaked out. I guess she was just really wasted. By the way, don't underage drink, but going on. She was pretty wasted, and she walked up to me saying, oh my goodness, like, Baba, like, what are you doing here? What, do you go here now? I ended up telling her, oh nah, like, I still like, you know, I'm still at home just like making videos and stuff. And she looked at me saying, oh my goodness, like, you're still making YouTube videos? How's that going for you? She said it in a really like sarcastic way, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's common for a lot of people that I talk to since back in high school, because no one really believed me back in high school that I become a YouTuber. And also, I've been making videos since like what, 2015? So it's pretty weird. But going on with the story, I remember I just explained how, like, you know, I'm trying new things, learning stuff. And by the way, this was before story times, all right? I'm just gonna say that right now. And then she said, oh, well, like, I mean, like, I'm happy you're like following your dreams. Not a lot of people do that. They just go to university and do the stuff that their parents tell them. But good job, I'm so proud of you. Which, I mean, she's right, but at the same time, kind of weird to say in front of a bunch of other university students. And then afterwards, me and her were just drinking eggnog all night, and one thing led to another. She got really touchy with me. You know, she was flirting, she was liking it, and I guess she was just liking what she saw. Don't get me wrong, I changed a lot since middle school. In middle school, I didn't pull that many women compared to now in high school, especially after high school. Like, damn, I was pulling. But anyways, I remember me and her were flirting. We were sitting on the couch, drinking eggnog, and like I said earlier, we got touchy. Okay, and then she came close to me, we started cuddling, and one thing led to another. We ended up making out on the couch. Now, honestly, one thing I realized is that when you're out partying, you lose track of time. And I was supposed to be home at 12 or 1 a.m. technically speaking, but I ended up staying there till like 2:30 at night. I remember she looked at me and she's like, oh, this is like the best Christmas ever. Do you want to like come back to my place maybe? And I remember I looked at her and I'm like, yeah, sure. Me, I was totally wasted. For her, I don't know. I guess she could handle alcohol better than me, but I was totally out of it as well. Like I said earlier, don't underage drink. YouTube, please don't demonetize this video. Anyways, so afterwards, I remember me and her, we ended up going to her dorm, and basically from there, she ended up living in like kind of like this like really small apartment, but like it was like a small one that like university students get. And basically, I remember I went in there and she had like a small Christmas tree, which was really cute, by the way. It was really nice. But afterwards, I remember I was like, oh, like Merry Christmas. And then afterwards, I ended up going to her bedroom and then I literally crashed. Yeah, no devil's tango. But the story doesn't end there, because remember, this was Christmas Eve. The next morning, I remember waking up and I had over 20 missed calls from my dad and over 40 missed calls from my mom. It was really like stressful when I woke up to that, but at the same time, who hasn't done that, I guess, or gotten that before? And then afterwards, I remember freaking out, waking up and getting ready. But when I woke up, I realized that the girl wasn't anywhere in her dorm. I look around and I'm like, did I really just wake up to like not sleeping beside anyone? And then I look at the ground and I see there's a blanket and a pillow there. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, she just slept on the ground. So I remember I got up, I started putting on my clothes, and then afterwards, out of nowhere, the bathroom door opens in her apartment. It opens and instantly I see her literally in wrapping paper. I have no idea why. I think this was like a TikTok trend or something, but basically she just dressed up in wrapping paper and like her cherries were like hanging down. Like it was weird, but it was kind of hot. And she's like, hey, Baba, I just want to say Merry Christmas. I didn't get you a present, but like, you know, knowing it's Christmas and stuff, I thought it'd be cool if I was your gift. So like, you want to open it? Afterwards, she starts walking towards me and pushes me on the bed. And yes, this is where we ended up doing the devil's tango. And it was super gross too, because I had morning breath. And yeah, that did not sit pleasant. But let's just say she didn't care. She just really wanted to do the devil's tango since last night. So I remember me and her, we ended up doing the devil's tango. And I ended up, you know, taking off all the wrapping paper because hell, I mean, she had a bow on it. Like, how was I not going to open my first present on Christmas? And then we ended up doing it. And afterwards, I remember she ended up getting dressed afterwards. And she basically was heading to her parents' place for Christmas. I remember I told her, oh, like, I was just wondering, like, can I catch a ride? Because I didn't end up getting my car because, well, to be honest, I wasn't driving that day because I drank. Obviously, I'm not going to drink and drive. And then she says, sure. And then afterwards, she ended up driving me back to my place. When I got to my place, my parents were mad. Like, it was so bad. It got to the point where, to be honest, I was so old to the point where, like, you know, after, like, you reach the age of, like, 18 plus or after high school, your parents tend to not really care as much anymore. Like, they just want you to be safe at that point. They don't really, like, put strict rules on you, which, I mean, fair enough. And then afterwards, I ended up going under the tree, opening my gifts, and that's when I got my new Nintendo Switch. It was pretty awesome. And I gotta say, it was pretty cool. It was one of the best Christmases ever. Like, who wouldn't want to wake up to a girl under your tree? Anyways, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And like I said earlier, join the Discord server down below. Anyways, peace.